There's the latest forecast on tropical depression Querubin just off the east coast of Mindanao, but this is one of those forecasts where you don't really just want to pay attention to the cone of air. I mean, if you look at this, you're thinking, what are the impacts here? But there's a broader reach with this area of low pressure, now a tropical depression, that we have to talk about here. So let's break down what's happening. First, looking at the satellite imagery and kind of analyzing, what we have here. Our low pressure center right in there, that is our tropical depression. But then back towards the north, you have a cold front extending off of Japan, our shear line extending back towards the B call area, and even a bit of troughing extending out just like that. In combination with each other, these areas are the reason why we do have that heavy rainfall forecast in place here, stretching from Mindanao, where only southeastern Mindanao is under a signal force warning, by the way. But you have that interaction with those gradient-induced winds back towards the north, which is why we have the heavy rainfall as we go ahead, even all the way out through Friday and into Saturday for parts of Visayas, extending into southeastern Luzon. So let's break this down with our fantastic graphics from Metro Weather. Shout out to them. There's your low pressure area just lingering off the east coast. You have that troughing and our shear line and our northeast monsoon coming in just like that. So that really kind of gives you an idea, and the reason why I don't expect this to kick off towards north. In fact, I expect it to kind of edge further west, thus continuing to bring rainfall for places like Cebu, even over towards Palawan as we look ahead into the weekend and through early next week, mainly because it's going to stay south of that northeasterly flow, which is going to kind of usher it along, all the while still ushering in that precip and kind of almost bringing a bit of a training effect for eastern areas of Visayas. So let's look at our hour-by-hour Futurecast here, and showing you here by Wednesday evening, our low-pressure center still lingering off the east coast of Mindanao, increasing showers for places like Siargao over towards Visayas. Not a complete washout in Tacloban, but definitely messy weather here on Wednesday over towards Thursday with some scattered showers in your forecast. Like I said, this is not a full-on typhoon, and I think the worst of the weather may be here into the Bicol area, Catanduanes, east coast of Samar, even in for some of our inland areas heading out towards like Negros, northern Cebu, just because that's where almost our collision with the northeast monsoon and this very weak area of low pressure kind of hit each other. So yeah, you look at the low level center and you might be thinking, well, the cone of air is just offshore, but this is definitely a case in point where you don't pay too much attention to the forecast cone because there's a broader reach and a broader reach of impacts with this interacting with that high towards the north. And eventually this is going to kind of edge towards the west as the Saturday and the Sunday. So you kind of re-emerging over towards the Sulu Sea per the ECMWF. GFS hangs it out off the east coast a little bit longer. So there is some uncertainty in exactly how fast this will traverse the Philippines. But the key thing is while it does, it continues to influence and kind of more or less suck in that moisture coming from the east. And then eventually, the ECMWF also does show this kind of going towards southern Vietnam, increasing rainfall out there for them around the Da Nang area. But, you can take a look at the overall flow here, and yeah, across the eastern areas of Visayas, southeastern areas of Luzon. Let's go back to that graphic really quick here. And, you can kind of get an idea of where that flow is coming together, and just like that, eastern areas of Mindoro, southeastern Luzon, kind of that flow continuing to kick in just like that. So the areas in darker red indicating, over 200 millimeters of precip, especially into the Bicol area, saturated ground from our storms still back in November, is going to be continuing to create that threat of some flooding. So, with that said, let's continue to track and monitor what's happening out here together here at Western Pacific Weather. I keep on forgetting to get rid of this graphic, but it's something I used in a kind of talking about climatology the other day. And we're going to continue to track this. Basically, the key thing is this training effect, kind of squeezing of the northeast monsoon, and that's going to continue to usher across here, increasing rainfall. So, plenty to talk about over the next few days. Of course, I'll end with the flyover here, and do also want to stress, if you guys like these updates, hit that like and subscribe as always. But also we do have our Patreon, and I do have some new merch at the WestPac Weather store. It's something new I've been kind of trying to work on. I'll finish up the flyover here and I'll show you real quick. There's some designs that I put in there. I like them. The Philippine Sea Effect trampoline alert here. If you guys want to check it out, we still got a few more days for me opening the store. There's 25% discount. So if you guys want to stop by, check it out. I truly appreciate it. It supports the channel, and you get a nice new pair of clothing. So why not? All right. Anyways, big thanks for our Patreon members and everybody that supports once again. We're going to continue to track this. Right now, though, go back to it is a tropical depression, according to JMA. Still have it lingering off the coast. And there's your one more time. Our forecast for Bagasa right in there. But I can't stress enough. It's one of those scenarios where the broader range of impacts is what we want to watch out for, not the low-level center. As always, thanks for watching. And, of course, stay safe out there.